Hello. We are live. Yeah. Hello, and welcome to our Success Visualization Guided Meditation. I'm Bonnie LeBaron, and I am so excited to be here tonight to share this with you. Tonight, we're going to be tapping into the power of creative visualization and how we can use that to manifest our own reality. So I'm really excited to share this process with you. So we're going to start tonight by setting a few intentions. So whether you are listening on YouTube or so shout out to all my YouTubers out there. I'm so happy you're here, and shout out to all of the awesome people in this Google Hangout with us. Thanks for being here, guys. And does anyone want to jump on and say hi real quick, and maybe an introduction or intention for our session tonight?
I'm just getting back into it.
Otherwise, we can just jump right in. Okay, let's just jump right in. So we'll start by, just like we like to do in meditation, set an intention. So we'll get into the fun stuff, the success visualization, in just a minute. But right now, we're going to take a moment to recognize that we're opening a container of healing and of success. So we will take a moment to visualize. Welcome back, Kim. So we'll take a moment to visualize the intention. And we want to keep our intention in this container focused on the positive. So instead of, sometimes like negative words might come into our intention, let's stay focused on what we want. If we had the Midas touch right now and we could create anything we wanted with our intention, what would we do? So we'll take just about a couple moments to do that, and we can close our eyes. And we're just imagining, what intention are we setting for this container? Good. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes again. So I want to start off by talking about what does success mean to us? Because in our world, success is defined in so many different ways. So what is successful for one person might not be successful for us. So we're going to take a moment to get in our brain, before we actually do the meditation portion, let's begin to think, what does success look like in our world? Recognizing that it might look different in someone else's world, but what is true for us? So before we go into the meditation, let's just take some time to access that. And this is really interesting because sometimes the hardest part is figuring out what we want and how, not like the how we're going to get it, but like what is it that we want? So maybe it's a job, or maybe it's even bigger than that, that success is defined for you personally. But we'll just take a moment. What does that look like? And we'll think about, what does success look like for us in all the other aspects of our life? What does it look like emotionally? What does it look like mentally, physically, financially? Can we place what it means to us and what it looks like? Can we create that reality in our mind's eye? Okay, so now that we have those things kind of in our mind a little more accessible, we'll begin our meditation by just closing our eyes. And we can do some wiggles. I always like to shake it out before I actually sit down and get still. So we'll do a couple wiggles. and shake out any tension that we have left in our body, maybe that we acquired today throughout our day. And then we'll become still with our eyes closed. We'll recognize whether the stillness feels any different from the movement that we were just having. I'm going to mute just so that feel free to unmute and say hi at any time, team. But we'll close our eyes and we'll begin to notice the touch of our seat against the chair that we're sitting on. We'll notice our feet touching the ground. We'll actually notice each part of our body that might be touching the chair, anything that's coming into contact with our body, and we'll just recognize what that feels like. Looks like we had a couple of people join in the meditation. We're gonna start the meditation, and then quick overview of tonight. We're gonna do this meditation, and then we are going to do a discussion afterwards. So we just started, for those of you that jumped in. So coming back now to recognizing each spot of our body that might be coming into contact with our chair, and we're going to take 3 of the deepest breaths that we've taken all day. We're going to do these breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth. And feel free, if there's any sounds that want to come out on the exhale, we can allow for those sounds. So we'll exhale all of our air, and then we'll inhale, exhale with a ha or a sigh through our mouth. Again, we're going to do this 3 times. So inhaling, exhaling, and last time, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And then we can begin to feel how it feels to inhale through our nose and exhale through our nose. We'll take recognition of our posture. Are we sitting with our backs straight? Are our shoulders back, allowing our hearts to come forward? Can we feel our heart in our chest? Can we open our shoulders a little bit wider and bring them back just enough so that we can allow our heart to come forward, as if we're leading this meditation with our heart?
Yes.
Good. I'm so glad. Here we can invite in our highest self, or our intuition, to guide us through our meditation today in creating success in our life. But we'll become focused specifically on the breath, and as it comes into our bodies, we'll pick up our abdominal breathing. So it's going to come down into our bellies like a balloon in our stomach is inflating on the inhale. And on the exhale, our belly button moves closer to the wall of the spine, and it's as if that balloon inside of our belly is deflating or getting smaller. So we'll take a moment to become present with our abdominal breathing. What does it feel like to bring the air all the way into our bellies with each inhale and each exhale? And here we can begin to feel our breath. What temperature is our breath in this present moment? Does it feel warm or cool? Is it warmer on the inhale than it is on the exhale? Can we draw our air closer up to the point between our eyebrows with each inhale? Recognizing what it feels like to oxygenate our frontal lobe, our eyebrow center. If we'd like, we can even draw the air up to that point between our eyebrows, our eyebrow center, and then we can inhale it back about to our ears and our brain, where our ears are. And as we exhale, we can release the air out through the third eye, as if we're breathing through the third eye for just a moment. Continuing this tour of our bodies with our breath, we'll bring our breath now to our heart center, feeling how it feels to allow the breath to come to the heart like a nice big hug. For the rest of this meditation, we'll allow our hearts to lead the way. At any point, we can come back to imagining the point of light at our heart. And now that we've identified these three spots, our bellies, our hearts, and our mind, or our third eye, our eyebrow center, we'll begin to connect them with a line of light running from the base of our spine up to our head, and it can curve a little bit and come out through the eyebrows. This line of light can also run from the base of our spine up and out the top of our head. If there's anything bothering us, or anything left on our mind, any worries or anxieties, we can place them into a cloud as we imagine the sky and simply blow the cloud away. And here we can also pick up any breathing techniques that we might like, such as inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Or if our mind starts to wander, we can always pick up a nice mantra such as Hong Sa, where we inhale, mentally saying the word Hong, and exhale, mentally saying the word Sa. And as we sit here present with our breath and our bodies, we'll begin to visualize the horizon. We can start detailing out what the horizon looks like. Are we in the mountains? Are we at the beach? Is there an ocean nearby? Is there water? We will allow ourselves to draw out what this place looks like. If we could be anywhere in the world we would like to be. And we can imagine the sunrise just popping over the horizon, and take a moment to connect the point of light at our eyebrow center with the sunrise, and the point of light at our heart with the sunrise. We'll begin to hear. What do we hear in this present moment? What do we see? What do we feel? And in our mind's eye, we will bring up the question of what does success look like to us? If we had the Midas touch right now and anything that we thought of we could have, what would that look like? Just like we detailed out this place in our mind's eye of the horizon, can we now detail out what does it look like to be in my ultimate success and power in life? Does it look like a new job? Or does it look like a modification of what I'm already doing in my life? In this moment, we'll allow ourselves and give ourselves permission to think big. So if we have an idea of what success looks like, we'll allow ourselves to think bigger. What does it look like on a bigger level? If we actually could have whatever we wanted success-wise, what would that be? Feel free to allow our imaginations to take us there. Whether it's something in our lives currently or not, we'll allow ourselves this moment of play to just feel and see what does it look like. We'll get clear in the next few minutes on that vision. Visualizing having all the money that we want or that we need. Visualizing opening our refrigerator and seeing an abundance of healthy food. Visualizing our home and the space around us. In our perfectly successful world, what does that home look like? What does the bedroom look like? What does the living room look like? What does the kitchen look like? When we open the front door, what do we see out of it? We'll take a moment to visualize what does it feel, or notice really what it feels like if we had success in our emotional well-being as well as our financial well-being. What does emotional success look like to us? As we become clear on these visualizations, we might notice feelings like excitement or worry even come up. We'll give ourselves permission to feel all of the feelings that we're having right now in this moment. This visualization of success that we're holding for ourselves right now, can we imagine that we're physically stepping in to this space? And when we do that, can we allow ourselves to feel exactly how it would feel if this were our reality in the present moment. Maybe it's so exciting that you feel like you want to run around or even yell and scream about how happy you are. Allow those feelings. Feel it right now as if it were true in this moment. Continuing to draw out our picture of success, we'll recognize, what does success look to us in our romantic lives? How about in our relationships? In our career? What daily action steps do we take when we are in this life of true beauty and success? Continuing to get very clear on, what does success look like to us? What does success look like physically? Can we feel that? Can we feel what it feels like to have our perfect physical bodies that we desire in this lifetime? We might notice the ego coming up for a moment. It might be saying things like, you can't do that, or we're not good enough, or maybe just worrying about how big this successful venture might be. And that's okay. We can thank our ego, and we can send love to our ego. We can even ask, how can we hear you today? But we can still step into our highest potential, allowing our egos to become like our allies instead of our enemies. Keeping the visualization and the animations of what success looks like for us, we'll continue to feel our breath as we do this. Coming back to that feeling of what the temperature of our breath is. Can we feel our breath, and can we also visualize what success is for us personally? We'll take a few more moments here painting the picture of success for ourselves, getting very clear on what it looks like to us. Allowing our shoulders to relax with each exhale. And once we've gotten super clear on this picture, for one last time in this next few moments, we'll allow ourselves, it's like we're dancing in that feeling, reaching to feel what it feels like to be in this space of success in our lives. If anywhere in our body has gotten tense, we can relax that spot in our body by simply inhaling our breath into that spot and exhaling and allowing any tension to resolve. And we'll take the next 2 minutes to just dance in the beauty of this picture of success we're visualizing for ourselves right now. Can we allow our hearts to do the talking? And still being conscious of what this feeling feels like, we can begin to hold gratitude for ourselves for showing up here today to create our reality and to paint this picture of success for ourselves. We can send gratitude to any other beings or spirits or higher powers we invited to our meditation. We can send gratitude to our own power and highest self. For beginning the journey of creating our own realities. And we'll just honor ourselves here. Feeling that dance of gratitude surging from our whole bodies as we feel what it feels like to embody our own personal success. If all of the things that we just imagined were true, and if we did have the Midas touch, what would it feel like to be grateful for that in this moment? And as we begin to turn our attention back to that sunset or that sunrise just over the horizon, we'll know that this picture of success in our hearts is here. And we can access it through feeling how it feels to have our most successful life and be walking in our highest purpose. So now that we know that that's in our heart, we can allow it to move through our bodies to our mind, to our belly, to our legs, all around our bodies. Bringing our attention back to the beautiful horizon, that space that we had started in, that we drew out, the mountains or the beach, the jungle, the garden, whatever it is that we had pictured in our mind's eye. And we can begin to bring our awareness back to the touch of our seat on the chair, back to our feet rooting deeply into the earth. Take a moment before we end this meditation to feel what it feels like to allow our feet to be like trees growing deep into the earth, rooting us and grounding us as we come back to this space. And one last time in this meditation, we can imagine that point of light at our eyebrow center, connecting it with the sun or the horizon that we've been looking at throughout this meditation. And we can imagine that line of light running from the base of our spine up our bodies. And very gently wiggling our fingers and our toes, coming back to that touch of our seat against the chair, we can open our eyes. And we can actually end here with a nice Om. So for this Om, we'll go ahead and exhale all of our air out. And then we'll inhale and exhale with the Om. And maybe you missed it, so we can do it one more time. So we'll just exhale all of our air. Inhale. Exhale with the Om. Namaste. I'm feeling charged. Allow ourselves to slowly come back into this reality, and we can open our eyes gradually and slowly and softly, and we can take a moment just to unwind. It can be hard to imagine what success looks like for ourselves. And it's kind of funny that it can be hard to do because it's what we want. But yeah, it can be an interesting process. So congratulations to all of you for being here and showing up for that process. Feel free to stand up and do any movement that you would like to do. We've been sitting for about 30 minutes. So yeah, I want to encourage keeping a journal of visions and things that have come up for you in this session, and write it down. What did you see? What was that like for you? And let's see. I also want to let you all know that you can contact me. I have a bunch of different things going on, including a 5-day meditation program coming up here. So if you would like to get involved with that, you can contact me on Facebook. My Facebook, I love the Messenger feature. So my name is Bonnie, B-O-N-N-I-E, LeBaron, L-E-B-A-R-O-N. You can also find out more about what I do at my website, symbiotichealing.com. And I would love to, if you want to stay involved with the 5-day meditation program we'll be doing, feel free to shoot me your email on Facebook. Again, my name is Bonnie LeBaron, or you can shoot me your email on my email, which is bonnie@symbiotichealing.com. Any way that you would like to get a hold of me, I would love to talk to you. And yeah, I'll keep you informed all about the next programs that we have coming up, which there's a lot. There's a lot going on here, and I'm really excited to be doing this work. So I would love to stay tuned with you on that. My email is bonnie@symbiotichealing.com. So yeah. Feel free to, Indigo says he wrote in the box here, he's feeling completely recharged. Yay! That was kind of a goal. So I would love if we wanted to unmute and do like a discussion about how we're feeling, or if you're feeling like in the zone, feel free to turn off this recording and stay in the zone and keep dancing in that feeling of what it feels like in our mind's eye, or what it feels like to have all of the success that we want, what it looks like and what it feels like. I really think that through feeling those feelings, we can create everything we want in life. So I'm going to go ahead and end the live broadcast portion. And if anyone, for the viewers I see who are out there on YouTube, feel free to jump into the Google Hangout if you want to talk to us more and tell us about how your experience with that was and what came up for you. I'm so excited to keep working with you in the future, and I will see you soon. Love.